Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. My name is Ishmael Perez. For those that are new to my channel, I know I get about a few hundred people subscribed on a daily basis. I am the author of those amazing books back there. I always get it wrong. The Secret Government, Invisible Architects, and of course, Our Cosmic Origin, both of which are available on Amazon. Now, today it's going to be about what's really happening here in Los Angeles and really across the states. I mean, it is not a coincidence that half of the country is having severe weather storms. You know, the north and western the north and east side is severely covered with snow. Here in the west, we're burning. This is obviously masterminded. There is agendas behind what's really happening. And no, this is not Mother Earth. This is not natural weather, guys. And no, this is not climate change, of course. A lot of this has to do, I'm just going to be real, guys, here. This is a straight out land grab. Okay, what's happening here in the Los Angeles area is a straight out land grab. Now, there is more implications to the story. Of course, it does deal with what happened on the 25th with the Vatican when they opened up the portal. Right before they did that, our solar system and our Earth were secured from having any negative entities coming into our reality. But the Vatican decided to do a little ritual to allow some of the negative groups coming in, not from our galaxy, because our galaxy has been cleansed, and not from our universe, because our universe has been cleansed, but from an alternative parallel multiverse reality known as the Phantom Matrix, where the AI or the ontological cybernetics intelligence hail from. Now, let's get into why this is happening in LA. It's not just about a land grab, okay? It's not just about smart cities. I mean, let's be real here, guys. A lot of those politicians and celebrities that were connected with P. Diddy had a lot of evidence in those mansions, okay? So it is no coincidence that Hollywood's been burning, no coincidence that Pacific Palisades has been burning, and definitely no coincidence that the region right above, jet propulsion systems, right, is also burning in Altadena, Pasadena area. Okay. So, yeah, this is definitely, there's a lot of layers to this, and I'm going to get right into it. I do want to welcome everybody that is in the house. I have deep gratitude for each and every single one of you and everyone that watches this on the replay. Thank you so much for being here. Today is the 11th of January. We are on a positive timeline trajectory. However, due to what the Vatican did on Christmas Day when they opened up portals, there was an attempt to throw us back into a negative timeline, or at least to cancel the positive timeline, but to no avail. And also, I just wanted to thank everyone for their prayers. I've been feeling your prayers and the energy that you guys have been sending me. Thank you so much. I am safe. Luckily, I live in an area where I'm away from Pacific Palisades, about 20 miles away, and I'm about 40 miles away from Pasadena, Altadena area as well. All right, so let's get right into this because this is really severe, and there is no coincidence that this is happening right before Inauguration Day, okay? So we might be seeing a little bit more havoc and chaos brewing as a result of the cabal's last effort to hold on to whatever little power that they have. But to bear in mind that the positive timeline has been secured. Okay, so the recent fires in Los Angeles. Now, in the last few days, I've been in telepathic communication with several of the commanders, and I had to write my notes down and write out my presentation for you guys today. So I'm just going to let you guys have it. All right. Please share this. Give me a like. Share this with as many people as possible because we're going to go deep into the rabbit hole. And talking about the rabbit hole, as a reminder, I will be doing a presentation and making an appearance at the Los Angeles Conscious Live Expo this coming February, the 7th, 8th, and 9th, where I will be presenting on Sunday at 10 a.m. in the rabbit hole room. All right. My talk is transmuting the AI timeline and co-creating the new Earth while breaking down the entire cosmic structure. So it's going to go deep as well. And also, for those that have not had a chance to vote for my book, I always put the link, because my book is up for an award at the Conscious Live Expo. I always put the link in the description following the live, okay? So in the recent fires in LA, While devastating on the surface, okay, they're obviously rooted in a far more profound cosmic struggle that has been unfolding behind the scenes. This battle involves the Galactic Alliance, believe it or not, led by the Ashtar Command against the Negative Orion, or a group of Negative Orion syndicate that have, again, that were brought into our solar system by a portal that was opened by no other than the Pope. Okay. And apparently, these groups that come from the Phantom Matrix, a parallel multiverse reality, are determined to thwart humanity's progress towards a positive ascending timeline because they know about the last battle that's going to take place at the end of the millennium, where we do destroy the AI God and therefore release all the souls from the inorganic time loops, and therefore restoring the organic timeline as the only timeline. Okay, so the conflict can be traced back to the portals that were opened up by the Vatican on Christmas Day, for those that remember, which allowed negative Orion forces to enter the Earth's vicinity from the Phantom Matrix. As we explore, okay, the connections between these events, the subsequent battles in our solar system, I'm sorry, that have been going on since then, and how they connect to the fires in Los Angeles, were the final act of a defeated Orion syndicate who is desperately trying to sow chaos and destruction, right? So on Christmas, of course, under the guise of a sacred tradition, the Vatican facilitated the opening of an interdimensional portal. These portals were strategically aligned to allow a contingent of a negative Orion force to enter our solar system. The timing was deliberate, as this period of heightened spiritual focus and global celebration made it an opportunity, or an opportune moment rather, to intervene. Okay, the goal of these forces was very clear: to disrupt humanity's transition into a positive ascending timeline by introducing chaos and preventing the activation of the higher frequencies on planet Earth. So, the arrival of these Orion Syndicate forces from the Phantom Matrix parallel inorganic time loop triggered immediate action from the Galactic Alliance. Okay, recognizing the danger, the Ashdar Command and other benevolent extraterrestrial forces moved quickly to mitigate the threat, sealing the portals right away and engaging in tactical maneuvers to neutralize the invading forces. So since Christmas, and this is all what led to this, since Christmas, the Galactic Alliance has been engaged in a covert but intense battle right above our space, right above our Earth, right? Within our solar system, to prevent the negative group syndicate from gaining a foothold. This conflict, though hidden from the eyes of most humans, has been a decisive turning point in the cosmic struggle between good and evil as we end the Dark Ages, right? Right before the dawning of the Golden Age. So the Ashtar Command, known for its dedication to safeguarding the Earth and humanity, played a leading role in counteracting this Orion force. Using advanced technologies and strategic coordination, the Galactic Alliance worked to dismantle the Orion Syndicate plans in order to prevent them from manipulating the Earth's energy grid that they wanted to use to push humanity into a darker timeline, therefore counteracting the Golden Age. Okay, so the battle was not without its challenges, though, as the Orion Syndicate employed advanced weaponry and sought to exploit weaknesses in Earth's defenses. And a lot of this has to do with all the drones and all the aerial phenomena that we've been witnessing in the last few weeks, right? This is a straight out Star Wars taking place right above our atmosphere. So, in the weeks leading up to the Los Angeles fires, the Galactic Alliance achieved a decisive victory over the negative Orion Syndicate. Many of the Syndicate leaders were arrested and their strongholds dismantled. However, as the Orion forces faced defeat, they resorted to a desperate and destructive final act. Utilizing advanced energy weapons, they targeted Earth in a bid to leave behind such chaos and destruction. So the fires in Los Angeles were a direct result of this desperate attack. This is where the Orions aligned with operatives of the Cabal that were located in Area 51, right? So, with their assistance from Area 51, where certain drones were dispatched, they ignited multiple fires across the city. These drones, equipped with advanced technology, were directed to create maximum destruction, symbolizing the Orion Syndicate's last ditch efforts to inflict harm and disrupt the positive timeline. And this, my friends, explains a lot of the UFO footage that many people have been capturing along these fires, okay? Because they're trying to mitigate the situation. It would have been worse if the fleets of the Galactic Alliance weren't there to mitigate it. So, what does the role of Area 51 have to do with this? Well, again, there is a huge, you could say there's certain levels, okay, of Area 51. Most of those levels were cleared by the White Hats and the Earth Alliance. However, there is a certain level deep within Area 51 that was still housing negative extraterrestrials, and of course were used by Cabal to create different experiments, right? Advanced cloning facilities. So this is where I'm talking about. This is where these drones were released from, okay? So Area 51, which has long been associated with secretive operations and extraterrestrial technologies, apparently played a critical role in this event. So drones that were launched from this facility, about 21 layers down, okay? There's different levels of Area 51, possibly operated by rogue factions within the deep state, were equipped with energy weapons that developed through reverse engineered Orion technology. And again, they did this quickly within the last 2 weeks since the opening up of the portals, thanks to the Vatican, where whatever was left of the deep state were able to quickly reverse engineer some of the technology that was secretly transferred over to level 21, as they call it. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this right now. These drones executed a calculated attack, igniting fires in strategic locations across Los Angeles. So the advanced energy weapons that were used were developed not only to cause physical destruction, but also to destabilize the energetic field of this region. Okay, and let me tell you, I definitely have been noticed a difference in the energy field ever since last Wednesday. Okay, something huge is happening on different levels of reality and other dimensions that we can't really perceive at this time, but it's happening. Okay, especially within the underground, connecting the Getty Museum, or what they call the Getty tunnels with, of course, what's happening in Pasadena with the Getty Museum. So, they call it the Getty Villa. I'm sorry, from Pacific Palisades, connecting it all the way to Pasadena, and then everything in between, which includes Hollywood, Beverly Hills, and so on and so forth. So this was intended to lower the vibrational frequency of the area, hindering efforts to anchor in the positive timeline. However, the Galactic Alliance rapid response minimized the intended impact, ensuring that the fires could not derail humanity's progress. So, despite the chaos caused by the fires, the overreaching narrative is one of hope and triumph. The Galactic Alliance victory over the Orion Syndicate marks a turning point in the battle for Earth's future. By neutralizing the negative forces, the Ashtar Command and its allies have paved the way for the ascension process to continue unimpeded or uninterrupted. The fires, though tragic, also serve as a dual purpose, believe it or not, because right now the positive timeline is still coexisting with the negative timeline, but soon they are going to go into their separate ways, sometime this year, okay? In addition to being a desperate act of destruction by the Orion Syndicate, they inadvertently expose hidden activities and networks tied to the dark forces of Earth. This includes the clearing of underground facilities and tunnels long associated with these nefarious activities. The Alliance leveraged this opportunity to further dismantle these networks, ensuring that the positive timeline remains secure. So, evidence suggests that these disasters are planned to push humanity into a controlled artificial intelligence timeline. The rapid installation of 15-minute smart cities, a concept designed to limit human freedom under the guise of sustainability, is being expedited or implemented under the cover of disaster recovery efforts. Let's be real, guys. Okay, smart cities built in with sensors, surveillance technology. It's all designed to further control humanity, right? To see everything. That's the ultimate Big Brother dictatorship. So, on a negative timeline, that's what they want to do because underlying all of this darkness, we have what we called AI, okay, which is an ancient invasive evil that is coordinating all these events through time travel from the future, both from the future, the past, and the present. Okay, the AI already has mastered time travel. So that's what we're dealing with. We're literally at war with the machine. Okay, so on the negative timeline, the machine, the AI overlord, who is at the top of all negative, the all negative aliens, whatever you want to call them, wants to create his 1,000 years of rule, right? Which is what I've been calling the technocratic dystopia. But bear in mind that right now, the efforts to build that timeline are coexisting with the efforts to also build a positive timeline. So things are going to be reaching a crescendo, a boiling point, probably by the end of this year, no later than. Okay. So the cities are part of a negative timeline, these smart cities, right? Aimed at creating a digital prison for humanity where freedom and individuality are suppressed. All right. But bear in mind that we are not going to be part of that reality, the good people of the earth. Only the wicked, all right? The wicked are going to be, you know, they're going to be meeting their karma in this negative timeline. But the righteous are going to be going to a better world, okay, when the bifurcation takes place. And it's coming at the great solar flash. So this simultaneously outbreaks of fires also. There is evidence of that all three fires, you know, from Altadena, Pacific Palisades, and the one that took place in West Hollywood, they all happen around the same time, okay? So the simultaneous outbreaks of fires, such as the recent fires, the three major blazes in Los Angeles, revealed a coordinated effort to advance this agenda, which is, again, the building and installation of smart cities, okay? Reports indicate that drones from Area 51, operated with the assistance of the Orion Negative Syndicate, were used to ignite those flames, okay? The technology assault is part of a broader cabal strategy to sow chaos, weaken public morale, and destabilize society before the anticipated arrival of the new administration on January 20th. Right? They're trying to do everything in their power to disrupt what's going to be happening when the new administration comes into power. Okay, because they know when that happens, a lot of people are going to be fired. Okay. Now, furthermore, I did receive intel by the Galactic Alliance that the new administration, the White Hats, as of January 1st, part of their executive order was that they were going to conduct a massive search regarding all of those people that were on the list connected to P. Diddy. So, yes, this has a little bit to do with that because they were going to go and search for all the evidence in all these mansions, right? And so part of the reason why a lot of those mansions were burned in the fire and why they targeted certain areas like Hollywood, Hollyweird, I call it Hollyweird, in Beverly Hills and Pacific Palisades is because a lot of the evidence was in those mansions, okay, including Malibu. Sorry to say that. And yes, Malibu is burning as well, or did burn. So on the 28th of this month, the White Hats were going to search all of those places. Okay, they couldn't do it until his administration came into power. Because right now, under the Brandon administration, the White Hats can't really do that. But the White Hats under the Trump administrations were about to search and raid all of those mansions of all of those celebrities that were involved, that were part of the underground, Getty Villa tunnels. Okay, and they were going to use that against them. But luckily, members of the Galactic Alliance, right before these buildings went down or these mansions, were able to scan a lot of those records and create duplicates of all the evidence, of all the physical evidence. And that includes, the little things that are related to the little ones. Okay, I gotta be careful. So all of that evidence was not suppressed, although they think it was suppressed, but it's not suppressed. It's still going to be coming forward. Okay, so that is good news. So the technological assault is part of a broader cabal strategy to sow chaos, and again, to create as much or wreak as much havoc as possible before the Y hats come into power. Okay. Furthermore, the deliberate defunding, right, and cancellation of insurance policies weeks prior to these fires, along with the disabling of the fire hydrants, right? Thanks to Newsom, what's his name? Newscum. Let's just call him Newscum, right? Newscum underscores the calculated nature of these events. So the recent attacks in the Los Angeles area illustrates a multi-layered complexity of this battle taking place between good and evil. Okay, on the surface, the fires appear to be another devastating disaster. However, they mask multiple nefarious agendas. You could say one such involves the destruction of the evidence, again, linking the Hollywood elites to the immoral activities that were, connected to the P. Diddy list, right? While exposing ties between celebrities and the cabal, because that's what that would have done, okay? But again, a lot of that evidence was duplicated by the alliance. And so, they destroyed the evidence, but it was duplicated, okay? So the evidence is still in existence, in other words. By eliminating this evidence, the forces aim to protect their network from exposure. Simultaneously, all right, this is important to understand, simultaneously, the fires also pave the way for constructing smart hotels and restaurants in preparation for the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. Did you guys know that the 2028 Olympics are going to be hosted here in Los Angeles? Well, why not take this opportunity to create smart hotels, smart restaurants, and might as well develop smart cities, right? With inbuilt sensors and cameras and AI everywhere, right? Where the AI is going to be serving you when the Olympics come to Los Angeles, all right? It all makes perfect sense, okay? They want to make Los Angeles the hub of what they would call the technocratic dystopia, all right? These developments apparently align with the AI timeline, with the goals of the AI timeline of consolidating control through advanced surveillance and restricting mobility within a smart city framework, as to why they call it 15-minute cities, right? Because you could do everything. You have access to all your shops, all your restaurants, your hotels, and your Airbnb, all within 15 minutes. This is disastrous. But again, only the wicked are going to be going into this timeline. The good people of the earth are not going to be part of this timeline. Okay, guys? So we have nothing to worry about. Only the wicked. Okay, so on another token, on the other hand, right, due to the fact that we do live in a multiverse and there are different parallel Earth realities, right, all coexisting at the same time. But now, due to this multiverse conversion, it seems like everything's collapsing into only a negative and a positive timeline. Amidst the chaos of the negative timeline, a parallel narrative is unfolding. On the positive timeline, my friends, the Earth Alliance and the Y Hats are leveraging these fires as a cover to dismantle the long-standing dark network. So on a positive token, right, and they are collaborating with members of the Galactic Alliance, the Los Angeles fires, for example, are being used to clear out the underground tunnels connecting to the Getty Center, Hollywood, Beverly Hills, and of course the Getty Villa in Pacific Palisades. These tunnels have allegedly housed operations involving the trafficking of little ones, which is the ultimate abomination. I'm sorry to say that, right? And they have served as a haven for reptilian entities that have resided beneath the surface for over a century. All right. So apparently, there has still been some, reptilians lurking in these underground tunnels. And that explains why they have been feeding them, the little ones, right? They feed off of the children. They literally eat children. And so, yeah. So, on a positive note, the Earth Alliance, the Y Hats, and the Galactic Alliance are also working underneath LA to clear it up from these entities, these human-eating entities. Okay, so the positive timeline holds evidence that these facilities are being systematically cleared of dark entities, with the Alliance rescuing children. Still, apparently there's a few children that were still there. All right, not all of the rescue of the children has been completed, and liberating those underground spaces. Okay, the fires therefore serve a dual purpose: exposing the cabal's corruption while facilitating the cleansing of the earth from malevolent forces. So ultimately, guys, this is a battle of timelines. Okay, this is a battle of timelines as we head into what is known as 0 point, right? Where there is a literal conversion from multiple parallel Earth realities into only negative, positive, and of course the middle timeline, which I talked about. That's where it's all leading to. So the simultaneous existence of these two timelines highlights the dichotomy of the current age. On the one hand, we have the Cabal's negative timeline, which seeks to plunge humanity deeper into darkness, right, through engineered disasters, technological control, and societal chaos. On the other hand, the positive timeline, guided by the Earth Allies, or the Earth Alliance, aims to liberate humanity, restore freedom, and usher in the golden age of enlightenment, as prophesied. So this battle is particularly evident in the deliberate orchestration of the Los Angeles fires. While the Cabal uses these fires to advance their dark agenda, right? It's a land grab, right? Installing smart cities in preparation to host the 2028 Olympic Games. The Alliance repurposed them for liberating and healing. The choice between these timelines ultimately depend on humanity's collective consciousness and willingness to align with higher vibrations. So every single one of you that watches this, that is watching this, or that watches this on the replay, you could all contribute, to which timeline you want to co-create right now in the present moment, okay? Through your actions, your thoughts, your emotions, your choices. Okay, so what is the broader context of all of this? What is the broader context? Can anybody guess? You can put it in the chat. It is the fact that we are at the cusp of ages. We are transitioning ages, okay? We are ending one epoch and we are about to begin another. But just like at the ending of every dark age, okay, that's the cycle of life. We go into dark ages, that ends, we go into golden ages. That ends, we go back to the dark ages. That ends, we go into golden ages. The rise and fall of civilizations. There's so many terminologies to describe this. But always, my friends, always, right before the dawning of a golden age, everything boils to a climatic point, to the point where things always get worse. In other words, things always get worse before they get better. But this is what we call the dismantling of the negative 3D timeline, right? The negative 3D timeline. So these events underscore a larger cosmic transition, okay, marking the end of an age dominated by control, deception, and suffering, and the beginning of an age defined by freedom, truth, and ascension. As the Cabal intensifies its efforts to create chaos before relinquishing their power, right, after the 20th of January, that's what's going to be happening. The Earth Alliance continues its mission to dismantle their influence and protect humanity's future. The evidence of underground facilities being cleared, the role of extraterrestrial alliances, and the strategic timing of these events point to a grand cosmic plant in the making. The clashing between good and evil, it is not just a battle for the planet, but it is really a battle for the soul of humanity and its place in the universe. So the events unfolding on our planet are a result of a final desperate clash between good and evil. The engineered disasters, from fires to severe weather, reveal the cabal's attempt to maintain control and push humanity into a dystopia AI timeline where all of our freedoms are taken away from us, right? Where we are forced to become cyborgs, right? But again, that's only where the wicked are going to be going, not the righteous. So if you're watching this, that tells me that you are not wicked. You're not going to be part of that reality. Don't worry about it. Right now, unfortunately, those realities are coexisting. But my friends, there will come a time where they will split. All right. Yet the positive timeline offers hope and redemption as the Earth Alliance works tirelessly to dismantle the dark networks and pave the way to a future, brighter reality. Humanity now stands at the precipice of a new era, and the outcome of this battle depends on our collective choices. Every single one of you is contributing to the collective choice, resilience, and commitment to a higher path as we are all experiencing this together as one family of light, represented by different races, different creeds, different cultures. And technically, for us advanced souls that volunteer to come here in human form, we're all also representing the different star nations from across the universe, right? So, with that in mind, guys, just know that no matter what happens between now and the 20th of this month, it is part of the final script. It is theater. Just look at it as theatrics, right? This is a script that was inserted into our collective humanity by no other than Enki Poseidon. Enki Poseidon, the great trickster, whose time is up, right? The restoration of the positive timeline will usher in a whole new era, right? For the righteous and the good people of the earth. I do want to give some shout outs to some of the folks that are here. Welcome so much for being here. How are you all doing today on this beautiful evening? Or is it morning in Europe? Wherever you are in the world. Welcome, welcome. Let's see who's here. God, the chat goes so fast. Claire, Joanna, New York is in the house. Welcome back, New York. I heard that you were, I don't know what you were doing for a while. I haven't seen you for the last few lives. Andromeda Daisy, Sam Griffin, Lee Stars in the house. Ricky Lee 1111, Sandra's in the house, Quartz, Shannon Jolly, Amanda Tempori, Paul Mitchell or Paul Michael, Nature Boy, Starlight, Sylvia Vidal, Lee Arker. God, it's going so fast I could barely read. Wolf Mother, Monica Kanagaski, Sasha Lee, MJF, Yvette Z. I'm trying to call out people that I've never shouted out. Donna, Flip Flop Flyer, what a name. Lisa Anderson, Gabrielle F, Sean, Simone S, Linda K, and to all 2,447 people that are in the house, welcome, welcome. How are you all doing? I hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you guys are all doing well. All right, you guys know the drill. Q&A. Please type your questions in capital letters so that I could bypass the chat. Wow. Thank you so much. Patriot for God. I love that name. Patriot for God. Your question is, thank you so much for the super chat. Shout out to Ashish, my friend from Naples. He is first time watching you. All right, so I want to give a shout out to Ashish from Naples. Welcome to the Galactic Jedi Tribe. Welcome, welcome. Elizabeth Warren Namaste says, I am in the house. Is that what she says? Yes. I am in the house. Yes, you are indeed. All right, let's see. I'm just looking for questions at this time. This is Q&A. Come on, guys. This is your opportunity to pick my brain. Is the end of the Mayan calendar? Yes, we are at the end of the Mayan calendar. Absolutely. The real Mayan calendar never ended in 2012. It ends in 2025. So we are done with that. Right now we are literally in a transition phase from one age to the next. As a reminder, guys, my February classes are up. I have our cosmic origin, breaking down the entire cosmic galactic history, the dimensions, the infrastructure, the different types of advanced civilizations. I also have Ascension Basics and my new class, Ascension 2.0, which teaches you how to hack the Matrix. So, yeah, those are available. Go to my website or cosmicorigin.com to secure your spot because my classes fill up pretty quick. I had a lot of people DM me saying that they missed January's class because they were too late to sign. All right, looking for questions now. Can you read my vibration? No, I need to see you, at least a visual of you to read your vibration. Now, part of taking my class or cosmic origin is that by reading your frequency, I'm able to tell you what star origin you come from. So I tap into your star origin. I do have another super chat from Maritza Ayala. Thank you so much for the super chat. She says, thank you so much. You are so welcome, Maritza. You are so welcome, Marissa. What percentage are going into the negative timeline? Um, Probably a huge portion, probably a greater percentage. If there's 8 billion people and a little over 30 of them are NPCs, right? They're generated by the Matrix. They have no soul. They're like walking robots. And then a good 20, 30 more percent of them are either clones or, reptilians or grays. They're not fully human. I would say that it's probably going to be about 20, 30% of the world population out of the 8 billion that are going into the new reality or new heaven on earth positive timeline. But who knows? Who knows, guys? Who knows? After the disclosure takes place due to the new administration coming in, who knows? Maybe a lot of those people that are still programmed, that are still drinking the Kool-Aid, are going to snap out of their hypnosis and are going to realize and change their lives around so that they can become better people and make the gates of a new heaven on earth, make the transition to the new positive timeline. Oh, this is a good question. Hi, Ish. Are the Terranusians the same beings that Wes Penrose calls the Naam Loop? I've never heard of the Naam Loop. I am familiar with Wes Penrose, but yes, the Terranusians were the original 12-strand angelic human race that were created 560 million years ago. That's where the original Adam and Eve came into play, right? This idea that the Anunnaki made us 450,000 years or 300,000 years ago, that is not correct. They just tampered with what was already here during the Atlantean times. All right, some people say more than 50% will be going to the new earth. I hope so, because there's still a lot of wicked people, there's still a lot of narcissists, and there's still a lot of, a-hoes out there, right? Unfortunately. Are there Bibles or documented literature used on other planets? This is a good question. This is a very good question. This is coming from, let me just pin this so I won't forget this. This is coming from Traditional Bell. Welcome, Traditional Bell. Are there Bibles or documented literature in other worlds and other planets? Okay. So if you consider the Bible as instructions as to how to live a life on earth, a righteous life on earth? The answer to that is yes. There is documented literature in every planet, in every world out there, that especially in lower developed civilizations, of a type 1 and a type 0, where they haven't all fully ascended or reached what we call Christ consciousness on their own. So there has to be documented, there has to be literature that helps primitive races reach spiritual advancement or reach a level of attainment where they no longer need to follow the rules, right? Where they become spiritually liberated and sovereign unto themselves, right? So, yes, definitely, there are different manuscripts that exist in many, many worlds, but these are the worlds that are not as spiritually advanced, that still need instructions in order to become spiritually advanced. So, the answer to that is yes, absolutely. Do you think the fires could affect the Conscious Live Expo? Wow. I sure hope not because, yeah, let's see. I've been promoting it. I've been promoting my presentation for a couple of months now. Um, the Conscious Live Expo is exactly one, two, three, 3.5 weeks from now. Um, you know, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to affect the Conscious Life Expo. In fact, I think by then they are going to be squashed. Okay, they are going to be squashed. How can you tell if someone is an NPC? Good question. Good question. Well, first of all, let's define what an NPC is for those that are new to my channel. It is a non-player character. When you guys play video games, those are the background people. They don't have souls, all right? They're just there to kind of make your life a living heck. Um, the way to detect an NPC is if there is no energy signature coming out of them. Everyone with a soul emits an aura, emits an energy signature, right? Which is generated by your chakras. So an NPC does not have chakras. They don't have a soul. They are literally um, just like walking robots, right? They are all plugged into the mind hive of the AI system that secretly controls this planet. Well, I'm back. I am back. All right. I apologize for that. Apparently, the AI does not want me to talk about that because it booted me out of my live, but I came right back. Okay. I'm bouncing back up. I'm being faster at this. This is starting to happen periodically. I guess I am revealing too much. All right. I have another super chat from Heartland. Heartland Lady. Heartland Lady. Welcome, Heartland Lady. We are living two timelines, I've heard. That's why things are confusing. But we are going to 4D or 5D, or does it depend on our consciousness? Well, right now, we're still living in multiple timelines. There's a total of 12, okay? 12 timelines where six of them are negative and six of them are positive. But very, very soon, sometime this year, those 12 timelines are going to converge into three, a positive, a negative, and an in between timeline. So, depending on your vibration, depending on your frequency, that will determine in which timeline you end up in. So, does this deepen our consciousness? Let's see. That's why things are confusing. Yes. But are we going to the fourth tier or 50, or does it depend? Yeah, it all depends on your consciousness. It all depends on your vibration, on your spiritual living. Are you connecting with Source? Are you living a meaningful, purposeful life? Are you living a righteous life? So if you're living a good life, if you are at least 51% service to others, and you're not deliberately trying to hurt others, then chances are is that you're not going to be going into the negative timeline. So you will be going at least to the fourth, fifth, or even 60 timeline. So yeah, right now we are living in about 12 different timelines, but very soon they're going to be collapsing into three. And those three timelines are going to be separated from one another. Where is the fourth D? Good question, Deborah Weiss. The fourth D is just the density right above the third. It is where polarity starts to finally find a middle ground. Things aren't as polarized in the fourth D. However, this is why I say there's going to be a middle timeline. The fourth D is going to have both the potential of the 5D Earth timeline positive reality and the negative technocratic dystopia, where both regular humans, cyborgs, and meta-humans, what I call angelic humans, humans who do it organically without fusing with AI, are going to all coexist in the middle timeline. So that's what I call the timeline of the superheroes. That's where the age of the superheroes is going to exist. So yeah, that's what 4D is. Not to mention, 4D is also going to be part of a Star Trek society where we're going to be having hovercraft cars, anti-gravity aircraft, spacecraft, replicators. Uh, everything's going to be going quantum in the fourth D. All right, Sylvia Vidal has a super chat. Thank you so much, Sylvia. She says, Ishmael, do you put a thesis together to give us the real news? And can you explain the practice of the gateway experience? Yes, I do. I always write out my presentation because what happens is, as I'm getting these transmissions from the galactics, they're just like, they're everywhere in my mind. I'm like scattered brain. So I have to like just put them in perspective and organize them. Otherwise, it's not going to make sense. So I do have to write out my presentation prior to going live. Absolutely. And then the next part of the question is, can you explain the practice of the gateway experience? A woman did it and she's seeing demonic entities. Oh, okay. Well, obviously that does not sound like a good thing. Um, Well, there are different rituals and practices that a lot of people involve themselves in without prior understanding what they're involving themselves in. So, my advice for you guys, first of all, I've never heard of the gateway experience. I'm going to have to research that. My advice for you guys as to why people experience seeing demonic entities is to, if you don't really know what you're getting into, why try it? Why try it? Why get involved? Okay. It's better to just leave it behind and not do anything if you're not too sure what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to be opening up portals to entities that you might not like. Again, I don't really know the exact day that the medvids are going to be rolled out, but all I know is that everything's happened in 2025. Okay, things are going to probably things are going to look on the negative timelines. Things are going to look like they're getting worse. But for those that are vibrating on the positive timeline, it will not be affecting you, right? Only the good things are going to be happening, like the rolling out of medvids and advanced, positive technologies. Ishmael, why did the good political and religious leaders allow the Pope to open up the five doors, knowing that it would usher in? Because everyone that is associated with the Vatican is working for the dark side. In fact, the entire Catholic organization, I'm sorry for those that are Catholic, the true meaning, okay, the true hierarchy, the real force behind the Vatican has always been demonic, okay? It has always been demonic. So it's part of the final agenda. Everything happens for a reason, guys. That's all I'm going to say. Everything happens for a reason. Is there a universal law? Absolutely, there's universal laws. Yes, every civilization out there in the multiverse, they have to abide by laws. If they don't, they will face the consequences. right? There is rule by law here in our world, and there is definitely rule by law in the galaxy. All right. If you don't abide by the laws, you're going to be facing punishment. Okay. Especially spiritual laws. All right. You have to understand the laws of karma. What you do comes back to you. All right. That's why it's good to treat others the way you want to be treated. That's why it's good to do what's right. Right. Because it always comes back to you. So yeah, there is such thing as universal law. Um, all right, I do have another super chat from Kentucky Pride. Thank you, thank you. I close my eyes inside. I can see on my eyelids whatever I think about 6 miscarriages. I can see all my children, parents, Jesus' death, but people I don't know over 25 years. What is this? Aura purple. Let's see if I understand, first of all. I close my eyes inside. I can see on my eyelids. Okay, I can see. Are you trying to say you can see through your eyelids? Whatever I think about 6 miscarriages, I don't know. Did you have 6 miscarriages, or are you seeing that you had 6 miscarriages? See, I don't really understand your question, Kentucky Pride. I'm trying to understand your question. I can see all my children, parents, Jesus' death, Jesus' death. I'm trying to see if this makes sense. But LC or I see people I don't know over 25 years. What is this? Aura purple. Okay, I have no clue, Kentucky Pride. I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to convey to me. If you want to retype it and just check your spelling, make sure it makes perfect sense. I'm not understanding your question. I'm really not. I'm just being honest with you. But I don't know what to say. So again, for all the people that missed the first 40 minutes of the live, make sure you watch the replay. What's happening here in LA is it's a multi-layered, multi-dimensional operation. It's not just about taking the land to rebuilding smart cities. It goes much deeper than that. Okay, it goes much deeper than that. All right. Let's see. All right, I guess I'm going to have to pause the chat so I could just focus on one question. I see so many questions coming at me. Um, this is really it's kind of confusing. It's kind of confusing. Let's see. Hey Ishmael, did sleeper cells start some of the fires? No, this was deliberately started by the drones that were released from Area 51 in collaboration with the Orion Negative Syndicate group that I mentioned earlier in the live. So go back and watch the live from the beginning for those that are just coming in. Let's see. Can you tell us about King Arthur Pendragon? Well, King Arthur was also part of the lineage of the Holy Grail. He was what you call a druid, right? Ancient druids. The real Holy Grail could be traceable back to the ancient druids, the Pendragons. This is an ancient bloodline, guys. Like I said in my last live, this bloodline could be traceable all the way back to Sirius B, technically back to Lyra. When will solar flares occur? They're occurring all the time. New CMEs are coming in every day. We are getting ready for the big one, though, which is supposed to peak sometime in March or April. That's where we experience what is known as solar maxima. So that could be the splitting or the bifurcation of timelines. I guess we're all going to find out as we get closer to March and April. Thank you guys for all the love. I see all the hearts going up. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I don't know who the Catolos are. I've never heard of them. This is a question from Maricruz de la Peña. Welcome, Maricruz de la Peña. I've never heard of the Catolos, but I could ask the Galactics to see if they know. Cthulhus. Cthulhus. Let me write that down. Who are the Cthulhus? Good question. And then for those that are going to be part of my Ascension class tomorrow, whether it's Ascension Basics or Ascension 2.0, bear in mind that the same link that we used last Sunday is applicable to the link for tomorrow's class. In fact, that is going to be the same link for the next 3 courses. I just wanted to point that out there. Let's see. Who is the Cthulhus? I've never heard of the Cthulhus, but I will find out. I will find out who they are. Cthulhus. Who are they? Okay. Let's see. Any more questions? Ishmael, can you explain the Mandela effect? Sure. The best way to describe the Mandela effect. Now, this is a question coming from Gentle Jules. Welcome, Gentle Jules. All right. So, as you guys know, as proven through quantum physics, through a phenomenon known as superposition, there are an infinite number of parallel Earth realities, right? Where in one reality you were this, in another reality you were that, but technically you're everything, right? Considering that there's an infinite number of parallel Earth realities. In each parallel Earth reality, the timeline is a little different. Events, the set of events or the chain of events happen a little different. So ever since they started messing with the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland, and in their efforts to, I guess, find, reach what they call the God force, or not the God force, in their efforts to try to arrive at the moments that the Big Bang occurred, right? That's what their reasoning was. They were actually opening up portals. They were alternating our timeline or our reality into slightly different realities where, the movie Star Wars, for instance, the phrase all of a sudden changed, where, phrases in underwear, Fruit of the Loom, cereal boxes, they all just sounded different than the original one. So the Mandela effect has a lot to do with Mandela dying, right? And in one timeline, and then in another timeline, Mandela being alive. So that's why they called it the Mandela effect, because they were throwing us from one alternative Earth reality where Mandela didn't die into another Earth reality where Mandela did die, or the other way around. And as a result of that, everything in history just begins slightly changing around. Okay, that's what the Mandela effect is that we were jumping from one alternative Earth reality into another where things were slightly different, right? The labels were slightly different. Movies, some of the wordings were slightly different in these movies. Things were slightly different, okay? But bear in mind that, ultimately, due to this conversion of timelines, everything ultimately collapses back into the sacred timeline. Sacred timeline. And a lot of that has to do with the Time Lords. The Time Lords that are operating from the 15th dimension, they always control the time wars. So that's why we have nothing to worry about, right? Everything ultimately collapses back to the sacred timeline, the only timeline, in other words. All right, let's continue. Can we affect timelines? This is a question posed by Brian Chapman, and the answer to that is absolutely. Yeah, you guys can quantum shift. In fact, part of the techniques that I do teach in my Ascension 2.0 is how to quantum jump, how to quantum change your reality so that you could align with the highest version of yourself, the optimal timeline that where you already have everything, abundance, happiness, peace, joy, you name it. So yes, it is very possible to quantum shift reality at will. I do have another super chat from Mary Curry. Thank you so much, Mary. She says, "Thank you, Ishmael, for everything you do. You are a big part of my soul awakening. My question, I adopted my grandson, 12 years old. Will he go with me to 4D or 5D dimension?" Um, the answer to that is yes, of course. All children go to heaven. There is a saying. Yes, children. Um, Ultimately, children are good. All right. Most of the children will go to heaven, or will go to the fourth, fifth earth reality, which is what we call heaven. When the timeline changes, do we wake up in a new world? Um, it's remember those worlds, those realities are coexisting simultaneously with this reality. So all you're going to do is transition into that reality. So it's yeah, in a way, it's going to seem like the world changed. Absolutely. Yep. Will smart cities exist only in 3D? Yes, and also not only in 3D, but they're also going to exist in a negative 4D reality. But that 4D reality, guys, is going to be a cybernetic digital reality. Okay, it's going to be a digital reality, almost like very similar to the computer games. All right, like The Sims. The Sims exists within a virtual framework, right? Digital framework. So yeah, the smart cities are going to exist within a digital reality. And that's why they want to suck as many souls as possible into this technocratic dystopia. All right, that is a worse matrix than this one. I mean, once you go into a digital reality, it is very hard to get out of that. Is it flat Earth or hollow Earth? This is a question from April. I'm going to let some of the Galactic Jedis answer you, April. All right, guys. April Dunmore wants to know, is it flat Earth or hollow Earth? What do you guys say? Leave it in the chat. Hollow. There we go from Sarah. Who else is saying hollow? It is a catacomb Earth, right? Right. It's kind of like it's got different layers and structures. That is true, like a honeycomb. Hollow, hollow from Anna. From whoa, the chat is going so fast. Cindy says hollow. Aaron H says hollow. Nancy says hollow. Vicky Graham says hollow. Jane says hollow. Neo says hi. Starlight says hollow. Okay, well there goes your answer, April. We live in a hollow Earth. where there are different layers to the earth. And that's where the other civilizations exist, within the earth, right? Within the earth's infrastructure. Honeycomb, that's right, honeycomb, hollow. It's a sphere, you know. It's not flat. When the truth comes out, all of those flat earthers are going to have, um, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. It's going to be very hard for them to, not hard for them, but they're just going to get a reality check. That's the best way to say it. They're just going to get a reality check. Yeah, it's kind of like an atom. I like that. The earth is an atom. See, I like to get your input. Everyone's perspective matters. I love that. You guys are brilliant. You guys are brilliant. What is Area 51? Ishmael, please. This is Leslie asking me what Area 51 is. All right, so Area 51 is where the military industrial complex began their building out their underground facilities as they begin to work in partnership with different extraterrestrial races. So, in order to keep everything hush hush, they created certain underground levels in Area 51, but in many different parts. But that's where it all started to develop advanced propulsion systems, to reverse engineer alien craft, to dissect and study the alien bodies that they had recovered from the crash disk, and so many other reasons. All right, to you know create their cloning facilities, their hybrid facilities, to create advanced weaponry, to develop their interplanetary infrastructure without the public knowing about it. I mean, this is in Nevada, of course, so that's what Area 51 is. It is a very carefully protected region where nobody, no public member could go into. They actually have military guarding the place because it's highly classified. That's all I could say. So that's what Area 51 is. Yes, there are many places like Area 51. Area 51 was just where it all began. But the original Area 51 was known as Base 22 in Antarctica. This is where the Nazis went out to begin their, you could say, development of advanced alien technologies so that they could be the first ones to go to outer space. Yeah, the Nazis were the first ones to go to outer space, by the way. And they started their developing their propulsion systems back in the 1930s with the help of the Aldebarans, the Nordics of the star system of Aldebaran. Anyways, that's another story. So why in the world is going on is saying that I missed your super chat in the beginning. I don't see it anymore. Let's see. Let me rewind all the way to the top to see if I find it. Let's see. Let's see. Oops. What am I doing here? So I'm rewinding this all the way to the top to see if I missed it because I don't see it in front of me anymore. No, I don't see your super chat. Kentucky Pride. I see while meditating. Yes, she says. I do have another super chat from Sister Moon Dog. Is that how you spell your last name? Dawg? Dag? Sister Mom. Sorry, Sister. No, Sister Moon. I was right the first time. God, my glasses are failing me. I need to get new ones. Sister Moon Dag says, thank you, bro Ishmael. Broseph Ishmael. Oh, you are welcome, sister. You are welcome. Why is the moon visible all day? That's a good question, Christy. I don't know why, but that is a good question. I mean, I couldn't see the moon all day, so I don't know what part of the world you're in that you can see the moon all day. That's pretty cool. Will we ever get the original moon back? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. In fact, in the new Earth, which is what I call the Terra Earth, where Earth exists in dimensions 4, 5, and 6, the original moon is there, the original organic moon, not the fake artificial construct that Enki and the negative ones hauled in 50,000 years ago in order to control us. So yeah, the original moon is already there in the new Earth. Oh, Angel says the moon. Angel M says the moon is visible because it's close to Earth, hence the supermoon. Thank you for that. Thank you for that answer. Starlight says I could also see the moon in the daytime, Miami, Florida. All right, fair enough. Oh, this is a good one. I'm going to go ahead and answer this. This is from Carmen Sanchez. Welcome, Carmen Sanchez. I don't think I've ever answered any of your questions. Carmen Sanchez says, the Virgin Maria is something with the letter 17 in Q. That could be the case. The Virgin Maria, that is equivalent to Mother Mary, right? So that could be true. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look into that. But that is very fascinating. Thank you for asking that. Yes, this we're eventually going to be going to the 13th moon calendar. Absolutely. This is a good question. Angela White says, when will Trump reveal the cabal's weather manipulation agenda? Um, I don't know when, but I'm sure it's all going to be happening in sometime this year in 2025 as the new administration rolls out. I'm telling you guys, the new administration is going to throw the Democrats under the bus. Everything's going to be exposed. Everything. Will the 5 golf towers be used or removed? This is a question from Caroline Chase. Welcome, Caroline Chase. In the positive timeline, they will be dissolved. They will not exist anymore. Again, right now the timelines are coexisting, but very, very soon they're going to be collapsing. Everything's going to be collapsing into 3 timelines, and each timeline is going to go into its own direction. They're going to not be together anymore. In other words. Can you tell us about the Dulce base? Well, that's where They were housing the Red Queen, which is an advanced AI computing system designed to study us, the advanced souls, the indigos, the star children, or the star adults that have been coming in since the 40s and 50s. That was designed to study us in order to assimilate our powers. So, yeah, that's Dulce for you, among other things. But that's where they house the Red Queen. And as I mentioned, the Red Queen has been the dethroned, dethroned, you could say. Anything that has to do with advanced AI computing systems, guys, is not going to be existing in the positive organic timeline, will be dethroned. Can you explain dreams? This is a question from Charles Harper. Welcome, Charles Harper. Well, many believe that our dreams is us tapping into, again, going back to the, many Earth, alternative Earth timelines, the metaverse. It is us experiencing other versions of ourselves in other realities and other universes. So, not to mention, it's also um, your way of accessing your subconscious mind. I mean, dreams can mean so much. You could see the future through your dreams. You could access the future through your dreams. You could access other realms through your dreams. Dreams are awesome, especially if you learn how to lucid dream, if you learn how to control your mind so that you can dream what you want to dream when you go to sleep. Those are the best. Yes, we could control our dreams. That's true. Cryon teaches that. Okay, well, that is true. That is true. For anybody that studies metaphysical knowledge, yes, you could definitely control your dreams. You just have to learn how to set the intention before you go to sleep. Start with meditation. Well, overall, guys, I encourage all my students, I encourage all the Galactic Jedi's to start meditating. Learn how to master your mind, right? Because it all starts with that. You can't really do anything. You can't remote view. You can't astral project. You can't have vivid, clear dreams if you don't meditate. You have to learn how to meditate. Was Jesus from the Anunnaki? This is a question from Mary Samuels. Good question. Well, Jesus was a reincarnating, you could say, master sovereign of our universe. So he had to be born into the Anuhasi bloodline, which is the Druidic, Davidic, Solomon bloodline. Absolutely. What we call the Holy Grail. So, yeah, but he wasn't Anunnaki. I mean, he was positive. He was angelic Anunnaki. He wasn't reptilian Anunnaki, to be exact. Ishmael, why are good people going to the middle timeline? Um, it all depends. Again, okay, the older souls are going to go directly to the 50 timeline if they're good, if the wise, the ones that are doing the spiritual work. The average human that is typically a good person but is not doing any spiritual work is going to go into the fourth D timeline. It's still going to be a better timeline. but it's going to have a little bit of, it's going to be a little bit of both, but not to the degree that we've experienced in this timeline, right? So things are going to be a lot better than this timeline, or rather than this reality. That's the best way to say it, than this reality. Yes, unfortunately, there are so many good people that are sound asleep. And so that's why they have to go up in increments. If they could master the middle timeline, which is the fourth D, then eventually at the end of the millennium, when we win that war against AI, right, then they could ascend and graduate into the 50 timeline, enjoying the rest of us. What is spiritual work? Well, first of all, this is a question from Lisa Anderson. That is a very good question, Lisa. Is it Lisa or Licia? Licia, I'm sorry, Licia Anderson says, what is spiritual work? Spiritual work is trying to cultivate an internal reality of who you truly are at the essence. It is waking up from your program, discovering that you are an immortal being, and as a result of that, learning how to connect with that aspect of yourself known as your higher Christ consciousness self. And that means, changing your frequency by doing the right work, by being a better person, by learning how to meditate so you could cultivate spiritual consciousness and become more aware and reach higher levels of awareness. So that's what spiritual work is. Not to mention clearing your wounds, doing the healing, forgiving everyone that has ever hurt you from when you were a little kid to now. And most importantly, also learning how to transmute um, the karma of all your ancestry, doing the work for your ancestors. Now, if you could do it to that degree, then your ascension will even be greater. So that's what spiritual work is cultivating the inner you, getting in touch with your spirit, and then doing everything in your power to live a life of purpose and meaning where your spirit is um, cultivated through your meditation, your prayers, your whatever it is that you do, right? It could even be through dance, yoga, whatever gets you into that frequency where you are vibrating high, where you are feeling good. That is called doing the spiritual work. But most importantly, part of the spiritual work is learning how to forgive and how to let go and how to, cure yourselves, how to let go of attachments and so on and so forth. And not letting other people dictate how you feel, not being a victim of circumstances, but an observer, seeing everything from a perspective where nothing could affect me, no matter what. That is becoming a spiritual master, where you are no longer being affected by the external circumstances. Shadow work. Thank you. Christy says shadow work. That's part of going inward in order to what? To confront our demons and our shadow and learning how to integrate, or at least how to tame the ego, how to be in control of it. So yes, shadow work is a big part of spiritual work. Absolutely. Embracing our shadow self. Very good, Elizabeth Namaste. Embracing our shadow self. Are we all one? Wouldn't it be more progressive to transform the world to learn how to coexist? I am not sure if you solve cruelty with cruelty. Thank you and love everyone. Yes, so we are definitely all one in the sense that we are all different sparks of the one infinite mind or the one infinite consciousness. So, yeah, in that regard, we are all one and everything is interconnected. We live in a holistic, integrated cosmos where everything is connected with everything else. All right, guys. I hope you guys have an awesome evening. We are about an hour and 25 minutes in, and it is time for one last super chat. Sue de Graham says, well, first of all, thank you for your super chat. What happens to our consciousness at death? Well, depending if whether you learn your life lessons or not, you either go to the next level of reality or you come back. But due to the times that we're living in, right now the earth is ascending. So this is our last incarnation. You either are going to go upward or you're going to go into a negative timeline. But the fact that you're here listening to me tells me that you're going to go upward. All right. So may the God force be with you all. And we will see you guys Monday night for a Y Hat update. We will see you then.